Boyfriend sighting, 1 o'clock.
Oh, they're having a candied apple.
Two can play at that game.
Oh, wow, you sure do know how to spoil a girl.
Oh, what kind of fake boyfriend do you take me for? Okay, so we've got pickled jalapenos, capers, and peppers. Or we could do some apple bobbing. Oh, how about a little country karaoke right up there?
I really enjoy putting me in awkward situations.
Yeah, it's part of the fun of this whole thing.
Did you see that?
What?
Nate just peeked over at us. That is called a tell. So when a buyer takes that one last look back at the house, you know you've nearly hooked them.
All right, then we need to up our stakes. You want to make them jealous, right?
Yeah, of course.
And we need to look like we're having more fun than they are.
Oh. That's such a good point. All right, we gotta do something.
Your fans came out today.
Thank you so much for coming out. It means a lot to me. I'm so excited you're all here.
Well, it may be springtime in New York, but this month it's all about Moonlight in Vermont, which premieres on the Hallmark channel April 8th. And I'm so excited because I watched the movie this week, and it's such a great escape into this idealized, romantic, perfect world. For about 2 hours, you can leave your crazy life and just fully involve yourself in your romantic adventures. So tell us a little bit about the film and your character, Fiona.
I play Fiona, and she's a very successful New York real estate broker and thinks that she has everything in line in her life, and her boyfriend unexpectedly breaks up with her. And so in a moment of just sort of trying to get her head on straight again, she goes to Vermont to spend the weekend with her family, and he coincidentally shows up, and he's already dating a new girl. So in a moment of panic, she decides to pretend that she is dating someone else also, and she chooses this guy who works at the inn who she's already kind of like not off on the right foot with, and they're kind of nemesis at this point, and they have this fake relationship. And they actually end up learning a lot from each other, and perhaps romance then follows.
Perhaps. I think that's maybe the worst case scenario. You break up with a boyfriend, you go to Vermont to escape sort of this post-breakup trauma, and there he is with a new girlfriend. How would you react in that situation?
I mean, it's pretty much a nightmare, right? And he completely catches her off guard. And I think, like anyone, you just want to save face and be like, well, I've moved on too. I'm doing great. I'm fine. Everything's perfect. And so that's kind of my character's reaction. And from that, there's a lot of, hopefully comedy and funny moments. And I had so much fun with this one. I mean, I really genuinely enjoy all of the work I get to do with Hallmark, and they've been so wonderful to me and are so much fun to work with. But this one is a little more comedic than maybe some of the others, and I hope people will really enjoy that.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. This is your 9th film with Hallmark?
I think so.
Wow. What do you credit the magic between you and the channel to?
I mean, these are movies that I also enjoy watching, and I feel like they're kind of comfort food. You can sit down and just know you'll see something that's uplifting, especially in these crazy, stressful times that we've been living in. It's nice to sit in front of your TV. Like you said, it was a little bit of an escape. And so, when I meet people and they tell me they enjoy the films, they always say it's an escape, or it's nice to just know it's a positive message, a positive feeling. And I'm happy and proud to be a part of that.
Well, we've loved every single one. I think you really,
thanks, guys.
It's so great that you found a home at Hallmark where all your fans can find you. And so you're saying this one stood out in your mind more than maybe the others because of the comedy elements?
Yes, the comedy, and I think everyone can relate to it. Everyone's, for the most part, been in that position of being broken up with and trying to sort of put your life back together and pick up the pieces where you've left off.
And it doesn't hurt to have a very good-looking Vermont chef on hand to help you through the breakup. Carlo Marx plays your romantic lead in the movie, and you've had your fair share of romantic interests over your career. What was it like to work with him?
Well, I mean, the truth is you show up for a job typically, and a lot of times your co-star is a stranger and you've never met, and inevitably every job, the very first scene of the movie you shoot is like the end, and you're making out, or it's where you've already fallen in love and everything's been resolved, and you have no history with this person yet. So my experience, when it's someone that you just really instantly hit it off with and you have chemistry and you have that friendly banter, it shows up on screen. And I'd had actually worked with Carlo very briefly on a movie a few years ago, but our characters didn't have that much to do together in the film. So I got to know him much better on this set. And you know, our characters, like I said in the beginning, don't love each other and, you know, really get on each other's nerves. And so us having that like friendship and that bond, it made those scenes where that banter, that quick back and forth, it made it better, I think.
Yeah, I think banter is one of my favorite trademarks of the romantic comedy genre. I always love when a couple bickers and then that reveals a certain affection they have for each other. I'm curious, what are some of your like romantic comedy movies that you go to for, say, comfort food that you turn on when you just want to kind of get away?
Well, I do like a lot of Hallmark movies, but outside of Hallmark, I mean, Sleepless in Seattle is one of my favorite movies. You've got Mail, Notting Hill. Those are the ones that pop into my head first.
I'm curious, there's sort of this, I feel like, a debate going on about the state of the romantic comedy genre. I think a lot of people have declared it dead for some reason, that in this new era, post, you know, the 1990s and the early 2000s, that, you know, movies have sort of moved away maybe from romantic comedies a little bit, or sort of started to subvert the genre in different ways. How would you respond to those sort of debates going on?
I mean, I love a romantic comedy. I would watch them all day long. So to me, they haven't gone out of style in any way, shape, or form. I love them, and I think they're relatable. And, you know, most people in this life are trying to find love and trying to find someone to live life and do life with. So I love them. And I think it's, especially if you can laugh at yourself and everyone has made these kind of mistakes or, you know, finding themselves in funny scenarios, I love to watch a movie and relate to it.
Right. I mean, I'm definitely in the camp romantic comedies till I die, all the way. You know, and you've starred in so many. We have A Ghost of Girlfriend's Past to this. What have you learned any sort of advice from these movies? What have you taken away from all your romantic foibles over the years?
I don't know. I mean, I'm married and have a child now. I don't know what advice I've taken away from them. I guess to try and always tell the truth. My character definitely learns that in this one. And to be who you are and not try to be someone else for someone else, because it never really works out in the end, because the truth always comes out.
Right, and you mentioned you have a new daughter. Congratulations, of course. And this was one of the first projects that you did after welcoming her, correct?
Yes, she was just barely 4 months old when we filmed this, and I was excited to get back to work. I love my job so much, and it'll always hopefully be a part of my life. And so I was excited to do that, but it was a little daunting. You know, she's 4 months old, not sleeping through the night, and you know, I'm obsessed with her, and I don't want to be away from her for 2 seconds. So it took a minute for, you know, the first couple of days I was like so worried about her, but it felt good to be this part of me again. And I feel like, you know, I think a lot of moms could probably relate to, you know, the guilt of being away from her and how do I balance all of it and am I making the right choice? And for me, work makes me feel more whole, and I feel like that's a good example for her, that you can do both. It's hard and it is a lot to juggle, but, you know, I want to set that example for her growing up, that you can, you know, pursue your dreams, and this is my dream. I mean, I've been doing this since I was a kid, and you know, I've been blessed to work and be a working actor, and there isn't a day that goes by I'm not thankful for that. But my priorities have definitely shifted now.
Yeah, does having a daughter sort of dictate which projects you might gravitate towards?
Absolutely.
Or where they're shooting you might not be able to go to?
Yeah, I mean, before the decision was, you know, can my husband come? Does it work for our schedules? Does it make sense? And now she's the most important thing, and it's not only about my marriage, but also what works for the family and the baby. And I am lucky that my job allows me to bring her to set with me, which is really nice. I mean, traveling is a nightmare, but we had like 17 suitcases and 47 carry-ons and a stroller and a car seat, and we were the classic first-time parents, like just so harried and stressed, and 19 bags on each of our arms, and the baby's crying, and you're like, sorry, guys. We went through, the first time I went through security at the airport with her, I mean, I was alone. I flew alone with her the first time, and she was screaming, and then she finally fell asleep on me, and I realized like I had to take my shoes off and my jacket off, and I literally was like getting tears in my eyes and just like, what am I gonna do? Where do I put the baby? And this guy from the back of the line, God bless him, I thought I remembered his name, but I don't. Darn, I tweeted about it. He came up and he goes, I've been there. You don't need to say anything. I'm gonna help you. And he like helped me take my shoes off, and I was like, God bless you. So. Yeah.
That's nice to have a little new parent solidarity there.
No, it was, because it's overwhelming at first. I mean, that's just being honest. It's a lot to handle, but life is so good.
You know, we were talking backstage. I write for HuffPost, and I was assigned the story when you announced your pregnancy, and I put a little Mean Girls pun in there. I said, Mean Girls star Lacey Chabert didn't listen to Coach Carr, gets pregnant. And you actually shared it on your Instagram, which was, this is kind of a full circle moment for me now.
I did, and you had another quote that was I thought was really funny. I can't remember it verbatim right now, but yeah, people were so kind. You know, it's a kind of it's an intimate thing to share. You know, that you're pregnant, and it's so personal. And yours stuck out to me. It was just so funny the way you worded it that I had to share it. So thanks.
Well, you're welcome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You know, my inner Mean Girls fan wouldn't let me off the hook if I didn't ask a couple questions. It is Wednesday, after all, and we are both wearing pink.
Okay, you guys, I swear to you, you're wearing pink too.
Oh, we got a pink
I
in
did
the
not
audience.
even plan that. It's in my blood, I guess.
So fetch, right? You know, we're living in the time of reboots and revivals, and I think, you know, Mean Girls is this beloved cultural artifact from the early 2000s, and everyone sort of expressed a general interest in revisiting those characters. So I'm curious, what do we need to do to make that happen?
I don't know. I don't know. I had such a amazing time playing Gretchen, and obviously it's something that I think would be really fun to be a part of. But I don't know.
And there's a musical currently in development that's going to premiere, I think, next year in DC. Would you be interested in going to see that?
Oh, of course I would. Of course I would. I mean, I would love to see it. Absolutely.
Well, maybe that can be our quasi-reunion and everyone goes.
Yes, exactly.
You know, and beside from Mean Girls, you've had such a long career in Hollywood, everything from Party of Five to The Wild Thornberrys. What do you sort of credit your longevity in this business? Because so many have not been able to sort of sustain their success like you have.
Thank you first. I think it's important. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I think I've definitely been blessed, and my family has been a huge support system to me and helping me to stay focused and grounded. And I just love it. I love telling stories, and I think when that dies, or when that's not the focus, then maybe it's time to try something else. But yeah. When I was 7 and doing Les Mis here in the city, being in the city brings me back. You know, doing 8 shows a week and going to school and everything. I just loved it. I loved the feeling. I loved entertaining people, and I still feel that way now. And there's so much that I still hope to accomplish, and that I want. I hope to see come to fruition. So I think that drives me, and I'm very, very, very grateful.
Would you ever entertain a sort of return to Broadway, return to the stage?
Absolutely. Yeah, if it was the right time in my life and the right project, I would love to. I was telling someone earlier today, because I played young Cosette for a very long time in Les Mis, and every young Cosette wants to be grown-up Eponine. I mean, that's like the part. So I would do that if it was like for one night only somewhere, I don't know, anywhere. That's like a lifelong dream of mine at some point.
We need to make that happen. I want to see that come to fruition.
Yeah.
You know, before we go to audience Q&A, I'm curious, would you partner with Hallmark again? Is there a 10th film on the horizon?
I would love to. Yeah, they're kind of part of my. I feel like we're part of each other's family now. They're, like I said before, the people behind the scenes and the people who make these movies happen are so kind and wonderful, and I know I'm lucky to go to work every day and have a good time. So I love working for them, and I'm proud of it, and absolutely.
Well, we can't wait. So I know we have some audience questions. We're going to start over here.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks for being here. So you've had the chance to play a lot of different characters throughout your career. I wonder if there's any type of role or even a type of project you haven't had a chance to work on yet that you'd like to work on.
Good question. There are a lot. I mean, nothing like one thing I could say in particular, but I have some. There's definitely different types of characters I look forward to hopefully playing one day. I would love to do something because I'm from Mississippi, so I've always dreamed of. I mean, it's such a huge part of my life being from the South and my Southern roots. And my dad is Cajun French from Louisiana, and I love cooking Cajun food, and there's such history there, and it's such a part of who I am that I would love to play a character that is really, or a story that's based in that area and that, the culture there.
Hey, I know you've done a bunch of voice work besides just Wild Thornberry's, like Spectacular Spider-Man and stuff. I was wondering, how do you like doing voice, like acting besides like live acting, and is that still something you want to continue doing?
Oh, I love it. I love it. Right now I'm doing Shimmer and Shine on Nickelodeon, and that's been really fun. That was a great job, especially while I was pregnant, and then I'm able to bring the baby with me to the records, and voiceover work is awesome. I mean, look, it is hard work. It's a different skill, and it's a different muscle than on-camera acting, but you get to go in your sweatpants. You don't have to put on fancy dresses. It's not that I don't like wearing dresses, but it's pretty awesome when you can just roll in and basically wear your pajamas if you chose to. But I love it, and I love the idea that my daughter Julia will be able to watch some of those programs when she's older and hopefully be a fan of them. I mean, the Wild Thornberries was something I did as a teenager, a very young teenager. And people come up to me all the time about it. And it was such a good show. It had such a positive message about, taking care of animals and animal rights and things. And I was really proud to be a part of that. So.
And we got one more for you.
Hello.
Hi.
Is acting what you expected it would be when you first started?
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
Is acting what you thought it would be when you first started?
Okay, well, when the truth is, when I started, I was like 7. So I don't think I knew what acting really was other than playing make-believe. And I mean, I loved to be in school programs, and I would sing in church, and I just loved that part of it. The business side has definitely had some moments that were unexpected. But it's, I don't know. I'm still learning. I learn something new every day. I mean, I watch my work that I did, which is slightly painful. I kind of cringe and watch through closed fingers. But I learn, and I go, okay, I won't do that next time, or, I've learned better. I mean, I still study. I still take classes because I feel like you can never, it's always good to try and get better. And I think the biggest thing for me is also the more I've lived and having life experiences has made my work better. And I just want to keep learning and, I also have some stories I would love to produce, and I would love to be involved in that side of it, and that's something I'm trying to do. And for me, it's like, it's not about I think it has changed and shifted a lot with social media in good ways, and also some not as great of ways, but I do appreciate social media, that it's made it, where you can reach people faster, and I've seen the business change a lot over the years, but for me, it's always about the bottom of the end of the day. Do I like this story? Do I really think I can bring this character to life and make her human and show the human side?
Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for coming. I just want to say, it's like having a party and worrying that no one's going to show up. So, so I'm really happy you guys showed up.
Every time. And Moonlight in Vermont airs on the Hallmark Channel April 8th. Everyone check it out.
Yeah, thank you so much. So nice to meet you guys.